So you've made it to the finals of the inaugural Cache Valley Warsaken tournament.
We're the only ones who have the cards in the whole valley.
So you're saying there's only two people in the tournament?
There's only two of us.
I'm actually happy about that because, as you know, I'm on a bit of a slump.
Yeah.
How many games in a row have you beat me?
Probably 4.
I think 4 is the running total.
Warsaken is it's a really fun game, and I'm glad that I got to come here and play with my dad today. I've played this before, and I really enjoy it, and I'm just excited to get after it and beat him again.
Your luck is out, which is the bad news for you, good news for me. But good luck. It's super exciting to be here. Warsaken was born from a father wanting to play a game with his father and with his son. And so to be here with my son playing, it's just super exciting.
Alrighty.
And I went first last time we played, so you go
My
first
turn.
on this one. We each draw 8 cards to start.
8.
I have lost a few times in a row to Reese, so I'm really hoping I can pull out the victory because he's starting to get a little bit cocky about it, and I'd had some bad rolls in the blitz games we played last time, and I don't know, maybe his strategy just is better than mine, but I'm really hoping to be able to pull out a victory on this one.
Alrighty, so I drew, and since I'm the first turn, I don't reduce, because that's just disadvantage of going first. So, didn't reduce, now I do produce. So power for that one. I'm gonna take a gas. And I get 2 equipment for this one. And since it's the first turn, I get 2 more. Because that's the ability.
It's a lot of equipment.
So I'm gonna these. Set this down, 2 counter on it, 2 time counter. And what I'm also gonna do, oh, I set this up perfectly. Set these 2 down, but since this has a 0 time counter, play automatically. Got one of these back out, so.
That did not take you long.
We're starting this back again.
Not a fan of the Titan missile
And then,
silos.
just so you don't get a pirated resource, I'm gonna use it on cut corners. Oops, that's supposed to be 2. So, yeah, use that. Put this back. And it says -2 morale, so I'm gonna do that. That hurts, but it's fine. But I get a decrease in non-specific leader time, so I'm gonna cut this one down to 1.
A non-leader specific timer?
Yes. And I am finished.
Power first move. I am, like I said, you've crushed me with those Titan missile silos before.
They're good.
All right, I'm going to draw first. Next thing I'm going to do is reduce, and as you know very well, my pirate ability is set to 1, so it reduces, just stays at a 1 basically, because when you turn it back to 0, it goes back to 1. And it lets me steal a resource from you, but if you don't have one for me to steal, then I just take a generic. And then I will take an equipment here, 2 fuel.
You get so many resources per turn.
Yeah, that is one thing about this
awful.
deck. Some of my territories are weak, but it does produce a lot of resources. So I've got a choice here. I've got enough resources to play my stolen super weapon. I know what he has in his deck because we've played enough. And I know it's going to take me a couple of turns for that to count down, but I can really hit him hard and knock out a territory in 2 turns early in the game. I can either do that, or I can go with a couple other assets and get a couple of forces on the field quick. So I've got a decision to make. And on this turn, it produces the exact right amount of resources. I'm going to play Stolen Super Weapon, one of your favorites.
That's the dumbest card. That is the dumbest card I've ever seen. So my dad lays down all of his resources for 1 card. Uh-oh, what is gonna come? And he puts down Stolen Super Weapon, my least favorite card in the game. It allows him to take one of my WMDs and put it down. Like, how is that even fair?
2 equipment, a fuel, a power, and then 3 generic. And generics can be anything. Holy crap. So pay all that. I'll let you put those away.
I hate that card so
It
much.
says find a WMD from a specific enemy arsenal, show it, and put it with your legion.
Probably shouldn't
They
be.
shuffle their
You should
arsenal.
probably take it from another enemy.
So I already know, we've played enough that I know which WMDs I want of yours. I'll go ahead and shuffle these.
I only have one WMD in my deck.
Yep, makes an easy choice. So quick shuffle.
That's okay. You know what?
You're welcome to
Rebound.
cut that
We're off the rebound.
out. And so this goes into my legion, but I do have to pay the cost timer. So it's got 2 turns until I can bring that out. But that's all I can do. That used up all my resources, so it's back to you. Using the stolen super weapon, there's a lot of strategy in it, but there's also a little bit of mind play. I know that he hates when I play that card because for 7 resources, I can steal a card from his deck that takes 9 resources to play, and so I get to put it right into the Legion, so I get it a little bit cheaper than he can play it. Not only does it take out one of his territories, it does 50 damage to 2 other territories. So by playing that on the first move, it was a little bit psychological because he feels like he's already under attack, and like I stole something from him, which I did, because I got to play it cheaper than he could have played it.
Alrighty, so it's my turn again. I'm gonna draw, and then I'm gonna reduce. Reducing this one down to 1, this one's ability. We're gonna reduce this one to 0, so it flips over. We've got an E7 Night Eagle, a bomber. So will you set that? Now that I reduced, I produce. Set that there. And I want this one, and these 2. This one. Set the countdown timer to 1. And then set this one. Rest of my resources, so you don't get any.
Wow.
I'm not letting you get any this turn.
So we've played a handful of times with these decks, and I think there's only been 1 turn, maybe 2 turns ever where you've let me steal a resource from
Yeah,
you.
because that's the most important part. Oh, and now my turn to battle, and I will attack with my E7 Night Eagle.
Who are you attacking?
Attacking, what is that one?
Ocean oil platforms?
Ocean Oil Platforms.
All right, so how much
160.
damage? 160.
It's a big hitter.
Yeah, and I got nothing I can block since I came out with the big super weapon to begin with. So each pip represents 10 damage, so that's 160. Leaves that with 140, kind of scary. See if I get something
Already.
that I can block that.
You gotta get an air one out, and stealth air one out, because stealth can only block stealth.
Yes, a big stealth. See what I can do.
I'm about to crush you. This game already over.
We'll see. I do have a big boy coming up, and you already know what it is.
Oh, buff.
You done with your turn?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna start my turn by my drawing. Not the card I necessarily wanted. I gotta say I'm not loving how this game is going, but
Oh, man.
we've seen some turnarounds in games so
Have we?
far.
Have we?
We have. First thing I do is reduce. Start up there.
Uh-oh.
Reduce this. As usual, you left me nothing to pirate from you, so I can take a generic. That is down to 3. Then here, 2 fuel. This may be the last time this one produces fuel.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Put this fuel to a good use.
Ah.
And then I don't need power this time, so I'm going to take a generic because Raxia's Geothermal Zone lets me gain 1 morale if you produce generic.
I don't like that card.
I like it.
You know what card I like less? Stolen super weapon.
This one that I played on my first turn. We're gonna see if that was a good move or not, because I could have put a couple different forces onto the field, but I didn't. So I've got a resource management decision to make. I've got 1 generic sitting on my leader, and I've got 2 equipment sitting on one of my territories. It's always better to play generic if everything's equal, but these aren't quite equal. I think my territory will last long enough for me to be able to play these 2 equipments. I don't think he's ready to knock them out, and so I think I'll play the generic and keep those equipments for later use.
And now you're paying the price with a lost Territory.
And a generic.
That's a pretty tough one.
Yes, it is. This one has a cost timer of 1. Got a couple things coming at you next turn. Then I've got... This guy has a cost timer of 0. He costs
Ooh, that
1
guy is...
fuel. Oops, that's
Oh, he only has 20 health, but he does 50 damage.
a little poke in the eye there. You got nothing that can block it on this turn at least. And then also I'm going to put out a minefield building, and that costs 1 generic. I'm going to pay that with an equipment.
Seems like you have 30 of those in your deck, because every day...
Every game I have the minefield, don't I? As you know, I only have 4 in my deck, because that's the maximum you can have of each card. That's all I can play, because that's all of the resources I have. So, buildings cannot attack unless they have some sort of special mechanic that I don't know of. So I'm going to bring Specialist Upton Kabani at you. And
Vernus, Boxton, Delphine Bay, Dragon Oil.
I'm going to try to steal Vernus supply factories. So let's go with the next highest morale loss for you.
Which one?
Delphine Bay.
Alrighty.
And that
You finished?
50 damage. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, my turn.
So that was the wrong decision with my resources. If I would have left my generic on my leader and used one of those equipments as a generic, I would have been better off in this turn. Because I'm 1 short, I could have played 1 more force with a 0 cost timer, and that would have been enough to knock out his territory.
Draw, and then reduce. So that's 140 damage to one of your territories.
Which one?
He isn't laying any cards down except for the stolen super weapon. So what I can do, go straight for the oil platform and destroy it quick so I can just take him out from there.
Which one?
The one that has 140 left.
Ocean oil platform.
The oil platforms?
Yes.
Gone. So lose that morale. Take it down. Take it down.
So we knocked out my oil platform, and that hurt quite a bit. The 9 morale is a huge morale hit, even though I built up the morale a couple times by taking generic resources instead of power. It still takes half of my morale out of the game. Also, those 2 fuel return is a pretty big hit. Okay, that is a big hit to my morale. That's 9 down. And when I eliminate, everyone does it a little differently. When I eliminate territories, I put them on this side so they don't get mixed in with my discard pile and all that. All right, that's gonna hurt.
Continue reducing. So this, I reduce this. It's finished, so it goes back up to 2. Draw 2 more cards.
What's that mechanic? Loyalty?
Yeah, loyalty. I'm gonna reduce nuclear, special power, down to 3. And then reduce these 2 off. So now we're flipping X6 Scorpion. And we're flipping ZS Wolf. Pick off. Eliminate a specific enemy force this could block in battle. But unfortunately, you have nobody that can block it. So they're safe for now.
So I have no
Subs. Navy.
No navy, so that's good for me.
So when my submarine finally got out, it had the ability to play pick off, which I was pretty excited about because that's a good move that can eliminate basically any force that can block it. So I play it, and he has no submarines, so that's just a waste of pick off, but at least I have a submarine out now. He returns from battle. Now I produce power. Get 2 of these. Vernus supply factories, kind of good.
Yeah, 2 equipment every turn. It doesn't have a major morale loss when you lose it.
We're gonna plant this with 1, 2, 3. Okay, whoever loses this game has to make dinner today. This is 1. Actually, if I lose this game, I'm not making dinner. It's the parents' job. So I'm gonna use these 2.
You said it already. It's on camera.
Not leave you anything. Set that 2 down. And 1. Now it's my turn to attack.
Just want to say, I don't think Specialist Upton Kobani is scared. I mean, he's facing some pretty big odds there, but even if you read here, it says at the bottom of the card, whatever you do, don't ask him about the scars. Like, he's not scared of what you got coming.
So what would I do if I asked him about the scars?
Whatever you do, don't ask him about the scars.
So I'm gonna come force with the E7 Night Eagle to which one loses me most morale? This one?
This one's 7.
To this one. So 160 to that.
Okay.
How much do you have left? 140 on it?
220.
Oh yeah. And then I'll attack that one with my ZS Wolf, which is 80 more damage.
Wow. So we got
And,
160.
may I read
That's
this?
240. Yes.
I am finished. How much does that
I mark them the same way you do. 1 pip equals 10. So this is down 240. So it's got 140 left. And
You know what that means?
no, I actually don't know what that means, Reese.
Good.
What does it mean?
You'll see.
If I know, I know. All right. Start my turn. I'm going to draw. And then I'm going to reduce my cost timers.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this one is not going to be good for you. Nuclear detonation. Eliminate a specific enemy territory. 2 of their others each take 50 damage and can't produce on their next turn.
That's not great for my next turn.
That is not. I'm going to eliminate, is it Vernance? Is that what it is?
Vernance.
Vernance supply factories because it produces 2 equipment every turn.
I'm down to 11 morale.
Nice. And then, so I'm going to put this off to the side of my discard because that is yours, so you got to get that back after the game. And then 50 damage to Delphine Bay, and also, I can't read what this one says.
Foxton coal plants.
There you go. And so, those 2 cannot produce on your next turn.
That did a lot of damage.
Yeah, that was good.
That was not good.
So that's the fruits of me coming out big, swinging hard on the first turn. Reduce this. You don't have any resources I can steal, so he generates a generic. Reduce this down to 2 for my heist. Return Specialist Upton Kobani home. And then produce.
This game's gonna be close. It's gonna be close, but
It is. It was looking pretty lopsided.
I am better than you, so we have to count that into
We'll
consideration.
see by who wins this game. Who wins this tournament? This 2-man tournament that we've... Okay, I get to gain 1 morale because I took a generic instead of a power there.
How many are you at?
10. And then 2 equipments here.
Alrighty.
Oh, and this thing is reduced, so I get to put that out. He has stealth and pick off, so let's see who he wants to pick off.
He can't pick anyone off.
He's a Navy, and so you have a Navy
But I
there.
can't block him. Is
It
that...
says eliminate a specific enemy force. This could block in battle. So since this can block that, he's going to pick off your ZS Wolf. So that felt really good. He just turned over a card on his previous turn that had pick off, but I had nothing that it could pick off. My card has pick off, and I was able to pick off the card that he played that had pick off, and he wasn't able to. So it's kind of ironic that I turned it over on the next turn after he wasn't able to play his. And it felt really good to knock that out of the game. That's a really good mechanic. It takes some timing because you need to play it when there's something on the field that it can block, because those are the only things that it can pick off. But when you can turn over a card and get that card on the battlefield and also take out one of his just like that, it's a really big move. Which is ironic because when the ZS Wolf came on,
It could have picked
It has pick
anyone
off, but I didn't have anybody to pick off. So that's good. I like that.
So my dad lays down his submarine and it has pick off. So I try and hide my submarine from his view, but he sees it and picks it off, which is really unfortunate because I could have done that to his if he just laid it down first.
All right, this next move. 2 equipment. 1 fuel, so I can use 2 of any resource in place of fuel since you destroyed my fuel platforms. And this has a cost timer of 1. And I don't have anything else I can do with that last resource.
So I can steal it.
I will attack. We have ground force. Let's see, do I want to attack with him? And I don't know if you're going to block that.
I
I'm
will
going to attack with both of these.
Block that with my X6 Scorpion.
Okay, so he does 50 damage, and that has 40 health,
80 damage.
and I have 20 health, so they kill each other.
How did he take out this ginormous platform of missiles?
It looks like it has a lot of attack value, but the health is not great on that
Health is
thing.
not great.
Like 1 shot from this
flamethrower just blew it up.
Yeah. Need to build up the defenses on that. Get a metallurgist working for you or something. All right, so I still do 100 damage, and I'm going to do it to the middle territory there. Okay, coming back into it a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit better about
My
this.
turn?
Your turn.
We draw. And then reduce. I'm going to return him from battle first. Reduce, reduce, reduce. You want to take these?
I'll put them away.
And I set out a TX6 and a Panther R2. Okay, now I produce, but I can't produce with the other two because you blew them up. That's not very cool, Dad. Not cool at all.
That was a good stolen super weapon. I'm glad I stole that super weapon.
What I'm gonna do is steal anything I can. But he still gets no resources.
Again.
And it's got a turn counter of 1. Reduced everything now to battle. And I will attack with my E7 Night Eagle.
Where are you attacking?
Yeah,
So he's got 240 right now, so another 160 is enough to...
Wait, he has 240.
He has 240 damage. Out of
So that's enough to
380.
take him out?
Takes him out all the way.
And how much morale?
That is 7 morale down, so I'm down to 3 morale.
That's what we like to hear. You guys are pretty sad, Dad. You might want to cheer them up.
I know, I need to visit from the leader or something like that.
And that dead man, that minefield, always scares me.
Good, 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 good.
And I will be done.
Okay. All right. Start my turn by drawing.
I forget that every time.
Then I'm going to reduce.
Uh-oh, big one.
Let's see what it is. T99 Lion Heavy Tank. There we go. And then
Armored? Okay.
you left nothing for me to pirate,
Like
as
I
usual.
always do.
So I'll take that generic. Got another equipment. One equipment. And then 2 equipment here. Didn't get any tankers in my hand this game, which is too bad. I really like to put a tanker out every game because that gives me 2 fuel.
That's what the TX6 does, except twice as bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the TX6 when it comes out. 2 equipment and a generic. All right, so 4 attack.
Yeah, that guy returns.
That guy returns. And then I have an army and a navy. So I'm going to send in both of these guys. How many health does yours have left? 180?
180. So you'd have to do both of them to take it out.
So I'm going to attack that one with both of these.
Alright, so that one's gone. At least 5 morale.
I like it.
Down single digits. 6 left. Still gotta take out both my territories though.
Yeah, to get that morale down, because you don't have any buildings, unfortunately, which is a good way to knock morale down. That's it for me. Your turn.
I'm gonna draw a card first. Reduce this. Goes back up to 2 because it's done. Get 2 extra cards. Reduce this one down to 1. Watch out. It's getting close. Reduce this. Does 140 damage. How much morale?
This is 5
I will
morale.
do 140 damage to this one.
Okay.
And he returns. And this one is reduced. Flip this to show off a 5R34I. And so it says, find 3 soldier forces in your arsenal, show them and put them in your hand. So I gotta find soldiers. And you know my favorite soldier.
I do know your favorite soldier,
You wanna say it?
especially late in the game when you need resources, right? Am I thinking of the right guy?
You might be.
Going for the triplets?
It's the triplets.
Oil engineer John Ryder is
John
about
Ryder,
to
oil
come onto the
engineer.
field.
So I'm gonna start producing power. Fuel. 2 generic. This thing is clutching up.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, yes. That's so perfect. This one. This one. And then this one. So we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna set this down. Put him on top. He's got a 1.
Wow.
And I'm out of resources again.
Used them all up.
Yep. So my question is, can stealth get past minefields?
What does it say?
Can't be blocked by forces without stealth.
So it's not a force, which is why the question, right? But it acts as a force if I choose to, if it blocks.
So it does not have stealth.
It does not. It has covert, dead man, and anti-ground. So it cannot block.
Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna attack it. Attack your spoils of war with it. That does 80. And I'm just gonna finish it off with the E7 Night Eagle. Does 160.
Oh, 160.
Mm-hmm.
220. Oh, exactly. 3 exactly.
I planned that. I'm not even joking. So
And there goes those 2 resources.
And more importantly, your morale.
Oh, my morale
So
goes
these
to
guys
0.
dropped back.
He has 0. We have 0 morale.
And
Let's hope that you don't have something with 150 in there to finish me off before I even get to do my super move.
I'm
Okay. So if I don't win on this move, then obviously
It's game over.
Yeah. I need something big here. I need something good.
Hey. Oh yeah, you.
That is not what I needed.
You got to steal. Steal the territory.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Steal
reduce
that.
everything. I'm gonna start by reducing this. And that puts another tank in the field. Nothing major. Nothing that's gonna return these guys. Put that many forces out. Reduce this, and that gives me a free generic because I don't have anything to steal from you. Again, that's the whole game. Another game, right?
Another
That you win
game.
without letting me steal
No
anything.
stealing.
Pirating. Makes Taro Lethabo sad when he can't pirate.
That is the strategy against him.
That is probably why you've beaten me so many times, because you're so good at not leaving resources on the table. My heist, though, does let me take control of a specific territory.
No, they both have the same amount. This one does 5 morale, this one does 4. I'll still have 1 morale, or 2 either way. So, they're both the same health.
I will.
Would you rather have power, or?
I need the fuel, so I will take the fuel.
Here you are. And I'm down to 2 morale.
So this isn't an issue because my morale is down, but the other way, there's 3 ways to compromise the leader. Take out all the territories, take out the morale.
Which is what you would have to do. You would have to take out my territories.
Which does the same thing. Or reduce their deck to 0. But you don't have to take out any I acquire, it's just the original 4. If I still did have morale. So, I reduced everything. Now I'm going to produce. I already got that one, which is not producing, it's a reducing thing. 2 equipment still, at least I still have my St. Purcell Harbor. And then I get another fuel. It's been a while since I produced fuel, so that's good.
See what you can do with.
Since I know
4.
this is my last turn, I've got a few things that can do 0, that can come out in 0 turns, which is good. I've actually got
Wait,
1,
this one does not return.
4. I've actually got 6 different cards with 0 cost timers on.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do 650 damage this turn
No.
to win.
But this one, since you got rid of my spoils of war, I cannot play this one even if I wanted to. So really, the only thing I can do is another specialist upped in Kobani.
Alrighty.
Generic.
He's pretty good.
And a
He's not
fuel.
too bad.
Yeah, he's got a good attack value for how fast and easy he comes out, but he also has low health.
Which makes him a good sacrifice. If you need to block 300
Yes.
damage.
That's true. I can't play anything else except for this one, which would only hurt me. We've got a couple air, except that's a transport. So all I gotta do is block your Panther and block your
That's it.
Night Eagle.
That's all you gotta do. Maybe block one of these things, maybe block my G-Titan missile silo.
That's all?
Simple. Just block some nuclear weapons. You'll be fine.
Can your Titan missile silo take out my leader? What does it say?
Enemy territory, building, or leader takes damage.
And there's really no way to block that. Okay, so I need to bring everything I have at you, because that alone does 150, right?
140.
Oh, 140.
But this thing got 20 with stealth. This thing has 160 with stealth. This thing has 80 with stealth.
And I don't have any air or anti-air.
It's not looking great for you. It is not looking great.
I might as well do as much damage. At least I got to steal some oil fields.
At least you.
Give me a moral.
At least you.
But let's see. It's not over yet. I'm bringing everything I got. No, it's not gonna be.
It's 390 if you want the quick counting.
240, 340, 390.
I have 10 left on this. 10 left. He was only 10 points shy, and his reaction, priceless. He was so disappointed, and he just couldn't believe it. Apparently he did the math wrong, and he just devastated that he couldn't destroy my last territory.
Oh, you mean what I have here is 390?
Yeah.
Shoot. If I would have had one more resource, I could have done 10 more to you.
So here's, yeah, that would have been 100, 200, 300, 340, 390.
So that unfortunately is my
very
turn.
Close.
And I have a question for you now. How much are you going to drag out this victory? I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see. So I draw. Reduce. And nuclear bombing. And what I'm gonna do, since it's basically game over already, destroy my own territory and deal 50 damage to yours.
If you can't have it, nobody can.
Yeah. Man, this thing is
Reset that timer.
in shambles. This thing's got 10 health left.
Yeah,
Man.
it's a flaming wreck
But
right now, but
somehow-
it's still producing. Oh, good.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So, and then reduce this one. Let's deal 140 damage to your leader because launch. A specific enemy territory, building, or leader takes damage equal to the attack value. So you've got 140 on it right now.
Yeah, he still has 10 health. Thought was holding on by a thread.
So we're gonna produce now. Oh, return. Return. This guy gives me 2. And I'm gonna use both of them to place John Ryder, oil engineer.
Of course. Only one of the triplets, though.
Only one of the triplets. I have the other 2 triplets in my hand.
You'll have to tell him all about the victory.
He will. Oh wait, and then we get an extra oil from John Ryder, oil engineer. And then that was my play. So how do you want to? I'll let you pick what you want to die by. Everything.
John Ryder, can he attack? No attack there.
Just
You might as well just send the world,
flaming
Reese.
like kamikaze.
Yep.
Alrighty, we're gonna attack
Flaming death.
Fabo Lethado with the E7 Night Eagle, the 5R34I, the E7 Night Eagle, the Panther R2, and then the TX6 that does 0 damage.
That does 0 damage.
And John Ryder. He will be leading the force.
The minefield is going to block John Ryder
No!
and kill him with Dead Man. Tell us why you love John Ryder, what that meant to you to get him on the field, and what it meant to you to lose him.
I'm gonna start bawling. I'm glad I got John Ryder on the field to lead the charge, even though, unfortunately, he did get blown up by my father, which he will be disowned after this video. But I'm glad I got him on the field because he's in a family and he's just glad he could do something for the world. He led the charge to take the victory, even though he had to sacrifice himself on the way.
But I added up in my head, you did about 4,000 damage, and I have 10 left, so that is
10
game.
left.
Fado Lethabo is dead.
But so is John Ryder, so what's the point?
So I ended up with 6 cards in my hand. Most of them had a really low cost timer. but I couldn't get any use out of them, and I also kind of lacked the resources to get them out. So that kind of hurt me where I didn't have the resources I need. I really like it when I get my transport out and I get 2 fuel every turn, because that's a hard unit to knock out of the game because I don't attack or block with it, and so it's just a constant 2 fuel every turn. He beat me. I think that's 5 in a row between Warsaken and Warsaken Blitz. But we did have a good time, and in the end I did take out John Ryder, Oil Engineer. I know he loves that card. He usually plays them in 3s for some reason, but I was able to get him out of the game, which felt good. A tiny moral victory for me to see John Ryder go to the discard pile.
Good game.
Good game. That was a fun one.
That was intense. Got down to the wire. So that was a great game overall for both of us, actually, and I'm glad that I won because I didn't want to let the community down because they were all rooting for me. So I'm just glad that I got to come here and play Warsaken with my dad, and it was an enjoyable experience, and I would recommend Warsaken with your family members.
Yeah, one more turn I definitely
would have had me.
Finished you off.
That's what it always comes down to, though. One more turn.
Like it, yeah. By the time you get to that point in the game, it seems like it's either do or die. Overall, really fun game. If I would have had one more turn, I could have taken him out. We went back and forth a little bit. I was a little bit overpowered from the beginning. If I could go back and redo it, I think I would put some forces out rather than playing the stolen super weapon. It was good to get him scared and looking at that countdown timer as it went, but I think that's where I made my biggest mistake, was by not getting forces out quick. We had a good time. We definitely laughed and enjoyed the game, and even though I lost, I'd still come back and play again. Warsaken always leaves you feeling like I was this close. I could have had him. I could have won that one.
Warsaken.